Good morning, I am Vedant Mundara, a second year MBA student from the prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Raipur, India. Today I will be comparing two petroleum powerhouses, Russian company Rosneft and Brazilian company Petrobras, by the Holt Valuation method and recommend one of them. So let's begin. This is a brief overview of both the companies. Rosneft is a Russian company headed by Mr. Igor Sechin, having a market capitalization of $72.2 billion. The major shareholders are the Russian government with a 50% stake and with minority interest of BP and Chinese CEFC. This points that the business has various leading stakeholders who can keep a check on the profitability of company operations. Petrobras is a Brazilian company headed by Mr. Roberto Costello Branco, having a market capitalization of $91.2 billion. The major shareholder is the Brazilian government, which has a 64% stake in the business. Such a high stake is not favorable to the other shareholders of the company, as major part of returns go back to the government and is also prone to the risks of bureaucracy and corruption, which it had faced back in 2014 as well. Coming to a side-by-side comparison of the operations of the two companies, looking at CFROI, we observe that the CFROI of both the companies had substantially dropped in 2014 in comparison to their discount rate. This is because low demand of energy in emerging countries, overproduction by US and Canada by fracking, resistance of Saudi Arabia to reduce its output. We observe that Rosneft displays higher CFROI levels and market implied CFROI for the year 2023 is also high in comparison to Petrobras, which has a negative market outlook. Also, the asset growth in the former has been positive over the years and is expected to grow at 5% in comparison to negative asset growth in the latter. The total shareholder return for Rosneft has been quite stable over the years, ensuring stable returns in comparison to Petrobras, who shows high volatility. In terms of margins, Petrobras shows impressive EBITDA and Holt operating margin in comparison to its counterpart, but it takes a dive when it comes to the asset efficiency with less than 0.2 in asset turns in comparison to Rosneft, which is an asset turn close to 0.5. This can be attributed to Petrobras' strategy of reinvesting the cash flows to purchase assets instead of paying out dividends to the shareholders. Moving on, in scorecard analysis, Rosneft is a clear victor with an impressive overall score of 91 with high levels of momentum and valuation. It also has a descriptive factor growth of a good level of 56, pointing towards an expectation of higher future cash flow growth in comparison to its peers. But the risk is high as well, indicating high sensitivity of stock price attached to regional market movement. Coming to the similarities between Holt warranted price and the actual close price, we observe that the deviation for both the stocks is in the reasonable range. The Holt warranted price is being outperformed by Rosneft by 67%, whereas Petrobras is underperformed by 65%. Moving towards the valuation multiples, Rosneft beats Petrobras in all the multiples. Rosneft has lower PE and EV by EBITDA ratio, which tells that the stock might be undervalued and is therefore bound to increase in the future. A low price to sales ratio of 0.5 indicates that investors are paying less for each unit of sales and therefore is an avenue for further growth. A high dividend yield also ensures a steady flow of cash flow to the investors. In conclusion, Rosneft beats both its peers and Petrobras in all the valuation multiples. Also taking into corporate finance, recent actions by both the companies and their CEO's competence under consideration, I would recommend Rosneft for a stable return on investment with a continuous cash flow through dividends and positive outlook towards future growth. I would recommend Petrobras for high risk appetite investors and those who do not want a continuous cash flow for time being. Thank you.